It was the 1850s, and Indians were not going to be an obstacle for white society in the western lands. In 1851, the Americans administered the concentration policy, putting each of the tribes in their own reservations. Later, in 1867, the Indian Peace Commission moved the tribes into two large reservations, one in Oklahoma and another in Dakota.
Tribes to their own reservations. Representatives will be chosen by whites.
It's about time we move all these Indians away from the whites.
No, this is our sacred land!
In 1867, in a series of bloody conflicts, the Indian Peace Commission decided to move all Plain Indians to two reservations, one in Oklahoma, one in the Dakotas.
That's enough land for them.
White management of Indian matters was entrusted in the Bureau of Indian Affairs. It was responsible for land distribution, payments, and supervising the shipment of supplies. The agents of the Bureau were ill-prepared for their jobs, leading the Bureau to have little success. Also, to worsen the fate of the tribes, the white population began to decimate the buffalo population.
Look at that majestic buffalo!
The Plains Indians considered the buffalo to be a sacred animal. They used the buffalo hides for robes, blankets, and other protective clothing. To kill buffalo, the Indians surrounded the buffalo and tried to drive it off a cliff. The weapon of choice was a bow and arrow.
Why would Indians view an animal so sacred?
Native Americans viewed buffalo as a symbol of sacred life and abundance.
It's all of the buffalo.
The white man has been killing off our most valuable resource, the buffalo, which has provided us with food, shelter, and clothing.
The Wounded Knee Massacre took place on December 29, 1890. The 7th Cavalry Regiment intercepted the Lakota and demanded that they lay down their weapons. A deaf tribesman named Black Coyote was reluctant to give up his weapon, so the fighting began. More than 200 Lakota were killed.
Black Coyote did not lay down his weapon. It was their land that they were on, and Black Coyote felt that he needed to protect his land, and he paid a lot for the weapon.
Well, those Indians don't listen to the U.S. soldiers. They deserve it.
No, they didn't. It was a massacre.
Sand Creek Massacre, a band of Arapaho Indians and Cheyenne Indians, led by Black Kettle, were at a military post in Fort Lyon on Sand Creek in November 1864. Black Kettle thought his band was under official protection. However, Colonel J.M. Chivington, encouraged by Army commander of the district, led a militia of mainly unemployed miners to the camp and massacred 133 Indians. 105 of them were women and children.
Told me it is best to move our band to a local army post.
We should move to Fort Lyon in Sand Creek and make camp there.
I heard there was a band of Indians at St. Creek. I shall gather a militia of unemployed miners to attack the band of Indians.
The Indians were not being killed just by the military, but also by white vigilantes who engaged in Indian hunting. In California, hunting and killing Indians became a sport to some whites. Some who did not participate in hunting would offer bounties to hunters. Some reasons for Indian hunting were retaliation for Indian raids on white communities, but overall, whites wanted to eliminate the Indian population. The whites felt they could not coexist with the Indians.
The whites are chasing the Indians during their Indian hunting.
I thought of the Indians.
The whites felt that it was their land and the Indians got in the way.
The Battle of Little Bighorn took place on June 25th and 26th, 1876. The Indian forces of the Lakota, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho battled the 7th Cavalry Regiment of the United States Army. It was an overwhelming victory for the Indians. The Indians were led by Crazy Horse and Chief Gal. 700 United States troops led by George Armstrong Custer suffered a severe defeat. 268 U.S. soldiers died. The Transcontinental Railroad offered easy access to the western lands, and the West became very populated. The government made it cheap to do.
Praise the Lord. I'm just fortunate that I made it out here even though I'm not the wealthiest. For once the government's actually done something good.
I know, right? These financial aids are amazing.
Oh, thanks heavens, this rainy weather will surely be good for my crops. I wish it was always like this.
In this drought!
My crops, they're gonna die due to this lack of water.
Oh my farm is becoming a disaster due to this lack of water supply. How will I ever fix this?
Haven't you guys heard? Irrigation is a new thing.
Yeah, I've been building wells for my water.
No, this is our water! No! I can't put up with this anymore. I'm broke and I need a better job. I'm moving my family and I back east.
I think I'm gonna stay here and tough it out. Hopefully better times will come in this now go-see town.
Farming was beginning to turn more commercial, and you were seeing less sturdy, independent farmers. These commercial farmers were insufficient, growing cash crops and depending on bankers.
I just got back from the city. I made a huge deal with the big market. My crop is even shipping internationally.
Wow, that's great. Thank God for cash crops. My corn is making me a fortune.
Tell you what, these bankers are insane. Depending on them is like depending on a husband to cook dinner. And I hate not being able to influence the prices at which they're sold.
What am I going to do with this corn? All this extra corn not being sold is making my prices fall.
This isn't fair! I hate these institutions that are controlling our credit and the warehouse facilities.
Yeah, and these prices just keep rising and falling from unpredictable forces. It's so annoying.
Farming families were cut off from the rest of the world and isolated on their farms. This isolation led to a lack of healthcare and other facilities.
I can't believe our son's leaving for the city. Is the West really that bad?
I don't blame him. The education system here is horrible. Plus, we don't even get medical treatment around here. This lifestyle isn't desirable for anyone.
What? No, this is our safe. Wait, I forgot.
You don't need it.